Great. So today I'd like to talk about the volume of air that goes into and out of the lungs as you breathe. So we can just title this Lung Volumes. So, there's all this terminology that describes how much air goes into and out of your lungs during normal respiration and during abnormal respiration. So if we do a chart here, this is just on the y-axis, it's going to be volume, okay? And then on the x-axis, this is just going to be time. All right. And let's imagine that you've got someone who is you're just sitting at your desk or sitting in a chair and you're just normally breathing, okay? And so air is going into and out of your lungs, kind of like that. With each inhale, the amount of air in your lungs increases. As you inhale, you contract your diaphragm, you contract your external intercostal muscles. That increases the volume of your chest cavity, which decreases the pressure inside of your chest cavity, causing air to flow into your lungs. So the volume of air in your lungs increases, and then during exhale, as those muscles relax, that air is forced out of the chest cavity as the chest cavity gets smaller. And so this is kind of like normal breathing. You get this flux of volume of air into and out of your lungs. Now, that volume right here, that is called your tidal volume, T-I-D-A-L volume. It's the volume of air that goes into and out of your lungs during normal breathing. Now let's say you just finished exhaling a normal breath and you inhale as much air as you can, okay? The volume of the extra air that you inhaled above the top of your tidal volume, that's called inspiratory reserve volume. And for a normal male, you're looking at about 3 liters of air. Tidal volume in both males and females is about 1/2 liter. In females, your inspiratory reserve volume is about 2 liters. Okay? So let's say you took this huge breath and then afterwards you exhaled as much air as you could. So you forced out as much air as you could. And the difference between the bottom of your tidal volume and the level of air in your lungs after you finish exhaling as much as you can, that's called the expiratory reserve volume. Okay, and that's about 1 liter or so. All right. But you probably will notice that even if you try to exhale all the air that you can out of your lungs, you're not going to completely empty your lungs. That would be a bad thing. Your lungs would collapse. We need some air still in there. So if this is 0 all the way down here, if this bottom line is 0, the air that remains in your lungs, even after you exhale as much as you can, that's called the residual volume. And it's about 1 liter to 1 liter. Okay. Now, if you were to measure the entire capacity of your lungs from the top of your inspiratory reserve volume all the way down to 0, this is your total capacity. All right. One more thing that I wanted to mention is that all the air that you breathe in, even if you were just talking about the air that you breathe in during a normal tidal volume, not all of that functions in gas exchange. A lot of that air never even makes it to the alveoli. They just get caught in the trachea. It breathes in, and some of that air just never makes it to your alveoli. It just goes into your trachea and then back out. That's air that doesn't function in gas exchange is called dead space. And typically, if your tidal volume is 1/2 liter or 500 milliliters, about 150 milliliters of that tidal volume is dead space. So it's a pretty big percentage, and that's just due to how our lungs are structured.